Good Wisconsin morning, everybody. My name is Ben Wickler. I'm the chair of the Democratic Party of Wisconsin. I'm so honored to be kicking off the Wisconsin stop of the Build Back Better bus tour, celebrating the tremendous work and achievements of the Biden administration, the tremendous partnership of the Biden administration and our terrific governor, Tony Evers, who you'll be hearing from shortly. I'm thrilled to welcome Jason Ray, the secretary of the Democratic National Committee, and shortly to introduce Tina Hinchley of Hinchley's Dairy Farms. I am so glad to be in this moment, in this August of 2021, instead of that moment we all remember in August of 2020. Compare where we are as a country, where we are as a state now to 1 year ago. Compare where we are with vaccines. Compare where we are with unemployment going down, employment going up, with wages rising, with people feeling optimistic, better about the future of our state, our country, our economy. There's no comparison. And that change is because of the change in leadership, because of the new presidency of Joe Biden and the steady leadership and partnership of Governor Evers. From day one, President Biden has demonstrated the importance of having a competent leader in the White House, and a leader who is guided by decency and core values, things that were profoundly missing over the last 4 years. President Biden, working with Governor Evers, has put shots in the arms of Wisconsinites, money in the bank accounts and pockets of Wisconsinites, helped millions of Americans get back to work, and taken action on the priorities of the working people of this state. In fact, when I talk to Wisconsinites about President Biden and the difference that he's made in their lives over the last few months, the word that comes to mind the most is relief. I want to talk specifically about the profound impact of the expanded child tax credit, which is changing the lives of Wisconsin families and Wisconsin kids every day. And as Governor Evers says, what's best for our kids is best for our state. For moms like Katie Strelka of Brookfield, Wisconsin, who was laid off from her job at the beginning of the pandemic, getting the expanded child tax credit means that she can pay for childcare while she returns to work. For parents like Greg and Jill Shama of La Crosse, the expanded child tax credit is paying for groceries and school supplies. For parents like Julie Gingras of Franklin, the child tax credit means that after years of saying no to her kids' requests to join the cheerleading team and the football team, she can finally say yes because she can afford their uniforms and equipment. For families like mine, for just about every family with young kids in Wisconsin, President Biden's expanded child tax credit means that they can sleep a little easier at night, knowing that they can say yes to prioritizing their kids without having to worry about what else they're going to have to cut. The child tax credit is a priority that every Democrat in Congress voted for, including every Wisconsin Democrat, and every Republican in Congress voted against, including Ron Johnson and every Wisconsin Republican member of Congress. It became law thanks to the tie-breaking vote of Vice President Kamala Harris, and it's being implemented thanks to Democrats, from local office holders to our great Democratic governors to our president, who believe that government can deliver for people if we keep our promises and are guided by our values. President Biden's middle-class tax cuts and Governor Evers' middle-class tax cuts have helped millions of families breathe a little easier, knowing that they can keep food on the table, pay their mortgage, provide for their children, have the resources they need to succeed, and focus on the more important things in life, like taking care of their kids. Democrats delivered this critical benefit to parents without the support of a single Republican, and it's going to come up again for a vote next year, which means that while this work has advanced tremendously, the fight is not over. And for folks who want to make sure that families have the support they need, this is the time to stay engaged in the political process, not to step away. The expanded child tax credit, Governor Evers' middle-class tax cuts, they're just one part of the Democrats' transformational agenda. In addition to the federal child tax credit and Governor Evers' middle-class tax cut of 15%, with the most recent budget alone providing more than $2 billion in individual income tax relief for Wisconsinites, Democrats in Congress are moving forward on the bipartisan infrastructure deal, a plan that will deliver for every single neighborhood across Wisconsin, from Superior to La Crosse to Milwaukee. Wisconsinites can feel the benefits of this deal. Wisconsinites know that when you drive on roads across the state, Scott holes are being replaced. We are filling in and making things smooth because of Governor Evers' investments. And building on top of that with the investment and support from the federal government is a tremendous example of the way Democrats working together in government can make life better so that Wisconsinites are spending money on things they want to spend money on instead of on new tires for their cars. Now, Governor Evers ran on the promise of fixing the damn roads. He's been doing exactly that. From 2019 to 2020, Governor Evers invested in repairs to over 1,000 miles of highway, and more than 800 bridges have repairs that are completed or underway. With federal funding from President Biden's infrastructure deal, we're going to push those numbers even higher. In 2020, the Democratic Party of Wisconsin often called Wisconsin the tipping point state. If you do the math, Wisconsin was the state that put the presidential election over the top in 2016. Well, it did it again in 2020. When you add up the Electoral College votes, President Biden went to the White House when he added Wisconsin to his victory column. We recognize the importance of delivering wins and building a blue wall for Democrats. And we could not be more proud of the 20,000 Wisconsinites who volunteered in 2020, building on the many thousands of Wisconsinites who volunteered to help ensure that Governor Evers would lead our state in 2018. We couldn't be more proud to know that all of us in our state have been central in making sure that President Biden is serving in the White House, looking out for Wisconsin families and working families across this country. We know that Joe Biden will continue to deliver for working families across our state, white, black, and brown, in rural areas, suburban areas, and cities alike, because Democrats believe that when we all do better, we all do better. And now I'm excited to introduce to you all Tina Hinchley. As the owner of Hinchley's Dairy Farm, which 2 weeks ago hosted Dane County's Dairy Breakfast, where I am proud to report the breakfast was incredibly delicious, the cows were beautiful, the chickens were delightful. Everyone should go to the Dane County Dairy Breakfast. As a small business owner and cancer survivor who relied on the Affordable Care Act, Tina understands at every level that politics is personal and that it's critical to have leaders like President Biden and Governor Evers leading our state and our country who represent the interests of all of us, not just a small sliver or those who support them politically or those at the top, everyone. And with that, I'm so proud to introduce Tina Hinchley.
What an introduction. I am so proud to be here this morning in Madison to be able to share with you what is going on in our government and how proud I am to be a Democrat. President Biden and the Democrats and Governor Evers have a plan. The American Rescue Plan to help us recover from the pandemic and the economic crisis that has persisted. The president, with the help of Democrats and Governor Evers, have been using the American Rescue Plan to focus on solutions for all Americans. Since the pandemic began in Wisconsin, more than 621,000 people have been infected with COVID-19. More than 7,000 have died. Unemployment is up 4%, which means thousands of people don't have jobs. These people are struggling to get food on the tables, to make their rent payments, and pay their bills. The effect of President Biden's American Rescue Plan on Wisconsin will provide our state with $12.68 billion in state fiscal relief and $2.1 billion in fiscal relief for our local communities. That's our home. That's where we live. There is more than $1.59 billion of relief for our K-12 schools. All of this relief is desperately needed and is assisting so many people in our state. The American Rescue Plan has helped people in Wisconsin with economic impact payments up to $1,400 per person. And that is over and above the $600 per person that was given out in December. That is more than 3,800,000 adults and over 1,003,000 children were able to receive these payments to help them get their life back on track. These are people in our community. These are people that need this money. And with this, there is help in our communities. This financial help came from Democrats, Governor Evers, to the citizens of Wisconsin. Along with that, more relief, up to nearly $1,000 in earned income tax credit to 321,000 childless workers, many frontline jobs. These are essential workers that work through this whole crisis. Additional relief to family with a child tax credit up to $1,600 per child. That's well over 1 million children. And get this, it's lifting over 46,000 children out of poverty. I want to just say that one more time. 46,000 children out of poverty in the state of Wisconsin. I cannot even imagine what this is going to do for all the children in the United States, because there's a lot that need to be lifted. And this was the tax cut that every Republican voted against. They voted against the American people, the American families. Shame on them. Our country, Democrats are investing in infrastructure. Governor Evers is helping to grow thousands of good-paying jobs, growing millions of jobs throughout the country. 60,000 jobs every 3 days. Fighting for investments in our roads, bridges, high-speed internet. Investments that will create more jobs in our country and helping our communities build back better. President Biden, Governor Evers, and the Democrats are strengthening our American communities. Thanks to President Biden and the Democrats, Governor Evers, 4 out of 5 people have enrolled in a marketplace plan and can now buy health care for less than $10 a month. That's absolutely amazing. Now Democrats are fighting to keep those premiums permanent, lowering millions of American families' monthly health care costs with proposals that would further reduce the cost of health care, prescription drugs, and expenses like elder care and child care. Since the Biden administration opened up the special enrollment period, more than 2 million Americans have signed up for health insurance since February. That is great to know. Even in the midst of the pandemics, Republicans have continued their efforts to roll back, weaken, and eliminate the Affordable Care Act, attempting to spike costs or gut coverage protections for those with pre-existing conditions. I have pre-existing conditions, and I am very thankful for everything that has been done to ensure that I am still going to have health care. Democrats believe that every single American should have access to quality, affordable care. The bottom line, while Republicans try to obstruct progress on on issues that Americans care about, Democrats are delivering. During the recess in August, Democrats are going to localize and highlight our party's agenda that is getting Americans back on track. And they will continue to help our country build back better. I am honored to be able to introduce the DNC Secretary, Jason Ray.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Ray, Secretary of the Democratic National Committee, and thank you for all being here today. You know, I'm so excited for us to welcome the Build Back Better Tour here in Madison. Chair Harrison says it all the time. The D in Democrats stands for deliver. You have all seen it firsthand. I'm sure many of you have felt it and felt the results in your own families and your communities. Democrats have made healthcare more affordable for people in Wisconsin and all across the nation. We've cut taxes for middle and working class families by expanding the child tax credit. Right here in Wisconsin, we're gonna help lift nearly 50,000 kids out of poverty. President Biden and Democrats in Congress are about to secure a historic investment in working families and our nation's infrastructure, all in less than 8 months. That's going to mean fewer kids who go to bed hungry. That's going to mean more families who can rest just a little bit easier, knowing that they'll be able to make ends meet. That's what you get when you vote for Democrats. That's how we build back better. Compare our results with what the Republicans have said and done. Not a single Republican voted for the American Rescue Plan. They voted against shots in arms. They voted against putting checks in pockets. They voted against helping small businesses. Republicans like Ron Johnson. Democrats, on the other hand, are 1,000% focused on you and your loved ones. We need to put in the work right now to make sure we defeat him in 2022 and elect Democrats up and down the ballot. That includes re-electing my good friend, Governor Tony Evers, so we can continue to build back better right here in the Badger State. Governor Evers has demonstrated that he knows what it takes to lead our state through tough times and what it means to deliver for Wisconsinites. Wisconsin voters sent Joe Biden to the White House in 2020. Everything that Democrats have been able to accomplish is a direct result of your hard work. Because you registered to vote, because you knocked on doors, because you waited in line at the polls, Democrats won big. Now we need to double down on that success. We need to be a consistent presence in every community, addressing their needs head on. We need to make sure that Democrats can continue to deliver for the people of Wisconsin and the people of the United States. Now, I'm excited to be able to introduce to you someone who is working so hard each and every day for the people of this great state, Governor Tony Evers.
Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Jason, for the kind introduction. And thanks for all the good work that you do to elect Democrats, not only here in Wisconsin, but your leadership at the national level, too. It's great to have a Wisconsinite in that position. You know, when I ran for governor, I vowed to fix the big things. There are several big things. Obviously, one is fixing the roads and our bridges. We, in our first budget, and we followed up with that in our second budget with the largest amount of money allocated, especially to our local governments who do a lot of the hard work around fixing the roads and bridges. Also funding our schools. This last time we hit that 2/3 magic marker, and that is a marker that we will continue to advocate for going forward. Of course, broadband has been a huge, big problem for our state, one that we took head on, and at this point in time, I know this number is low, but it's about 250,000 homes have access to broadband since I was elected. Of course, the pandemic challenged Wisconsin in ways that we never could have imagined. We took those challenges head on, keeping people healthy and safe and getting those resources to folks, whether it was PPE, whether it's contact tracing, whether it was shots in arms, and getting those resources directly to those impacted by the pandemic. Our small businesses, our farmers, our tourism industry folks, our people that, and our local municipalities also as well as school districts. To really, however, bounce back, we needed DC partners. And we have that partnership with another bus. We have that partnership with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, along with the Democrats in the Senate and also the House of Representatives. And I will go on a little bit about the child tax credit also. Huge, huge issue. I've always said what's best for our kids is best for our state. Clearly that's accurate. Best for our country. This is what's best. Giving the resources to families to put food on the table, to buy school supplies at this time of year, pay rent, whatever. That child tax credit is really, really important. It's a fully refundable money directly to moms and dads to get through these difficult times. Overall, child poverty, as mentioned before, has been cut in half. That is literally amazing. Recent study that found that food security decreased 24% among children in our country. It's all about our kids. No tax cuts, no tax cuts for the wealthy, issues around giving lots of money back to wealthy Americans. It's just money to hardworking people and the families that they exist in. And it also builds upon my fulfilled campaign promise to cut income taxes by 15%. That's a done deal. And also this helps out our kids as well as the 2/3 funding from the state level. So it's great to be here with the Bounce Back Better campaign, and there's living proof of it here in Wisconsin. You heard about the stories already. So thanks to Jason, Ben, and Tina, especially Tina, for your good work and telling your story. So with that, we will be glad to answer any questions you might have.